Swinging a ground ball, stabbed by Folk. He has it. He underhands to first, and the Boston Red Sox are the world champions. For the first time in 86 years, the Red Sox have won baseball's world championship. Can you believe it?
Welcome back to the Fenway Files. My name is Tyler, and I hope all of you had a wonderful second week of the baseball season. Currently, right now, the Red Sox are beating up on the St. Louis Cardinals 18-3. That's probably going to be the final score of the game. That would put the Red Sox at a record of 6-4 and second in the division in the American League East. Before I get into the flow of this podcast, there are two things I need to say. First of all, it's in regards to Rafael Devers. He is officially back in business. The second thing is to William Abreu, who I owe a personal apology to. So, first and foremost, Rafael Devers, I'm tired of hearing this bullshit narrative about, he came into the season overweight. I heard Tony Maz on 98.5 The Sports Hub say, look at him, he's so thick, he looks overweight, obviously he's out of shape. Or maybe he didn't play baseball the entire offseason because of his shoulder injury, and because of that he missed most of spring training and his timing was just off. Like Mark DeRosa of MLB Baseball literally relayed his 2024 and 2025 batting stances, and they looked totally different. Now, since his 0-for-21 streak, Rafael Devers is going absolutely apeshit right now. In the last, since last Sunday, he's 9-for-16, batting .563, on-base percentage of .667, and a slugging percentage of .667, and an OPS of .875. He has one home run that he hit earlier today during the first game of the doubleheader, 5 RBIs, 9 walks, and genuinely this narrative of him being overweight and DH getting to him and the move from third base, it's gone. It's done. End the shit. And honestly, anybody who said that it's because he's overweight owes him a direct personal apology, because that's honestly so uncalled for people to target his physical appearance, because he starts off the season behind the 8 ball. Everybody else outside of a couple of other players who were sick here and there got most, if not all, of a regular spring training. Rafael Devers had half of an offseason, 1/3 of a spring training, and then people expected him to hit like 500 out of the gate. Like, that, it doesn't happen every day. Major League Baseball players hit right from the start of the season. So I think that people, especially like Tony Maz and anybody who believed that like Devers is overweight, Devers is fat narrative, you owe him a direct apology. And if I hear one more person say trade Devers off this team, I think I'm jumping off of the George Washington Bridge. Because you want to trade our cornerstone player? Like, keep in mind, from the 2018 team, we had all of these different pillars. Rafael Devers is the only one left. He's the longest tenured player on the team. And you want to trade him because he went 0-for-21 with 16 strikeouts to start the season? Like, yes, I understand that's historically bad, but this idea that Rafael Devers doesn't belong on this team is absolutely asinine. I'm sorry, but it simply is ignorant and doesn't make sense for who this team is as a organization and as a whole. This team is better with Rafael Devers as their designated hitter than anybody else in baseball. I'm sorry, obviously outside of Judge, Ohtani, yada, 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 Rafael Devers is the only person I can see being our everyday designated hitter. Yes, there was some drama with his move off to third base. Yes, I blew it out of proportion, and yes, I was an idiot for that. But that doesn't change the fact that he has been hitting the absolute piss out of the baseball since April 1st. Since April 1st, he is literally hitting above 500. So I don't want to hear any more of this, he doesn't belong in Fenway, the noise is too loud, he's overweight. That narrative needs to end today. And I think Rafael Devers, his play since April 1st proves that he is not only back in shape, but he's better than ever. Second thing, Wilyer Abreu, I owe you a personal apology. In my very first, before the season started, when I was going over spring training, I made a prediction that Wilyer Abreu was going to have a down year, going to start the season really poorly, probably end up being sent down because of Roman Anthony, yada, yada, yada. Clearly I was wrong, because Wilyer Abreu is basically like prime Ted Williams right now in right field, and in my lifetime, I remember a couple of right fielders in Red Sox, on the Boston Red Sox. J.D. Drew, Mookie Betts, Wilyer Abreu. Now, obviously, Mookie Betts is the best of those three. I would say it's Mookie Betts, Wilyer, J.D., but that's my own J.D. Drew hatred, kind of my bias showing. But Wilyer Abreu has been basically hitting the absolute piss out of the baseball. I don't want to get into too much of the stats because he's going to be kind of a highlight later on in the video. But I knew he had twins. I knew he was coming back from being sick. I thought he was going to have a down year because all of the signs were pointing to that. And he has done the exact opposite. He has been the best player in baseball since the beginning of opening day. And if Wilyer Abreu, I know you aren't going to see this, but if for whatever reason you do, I am sorry because you have blown me away. And I am more than happy for you and your family for having twins. So, to get into the normal flow of this podcast, we are going to cover how we did since our last episode. It has been a week, so we're going to go from Sunday to today. Highlights of the week, lowlights of the week, overview of the AL East. Then we are going to look at how things are going down in Worcester. And then a quick little Red Sox history minute, preview into next week, final thoughts, and we'll be on our way. So, last Sunday, or my last episode was on Monday, but I really didn't talk about Sundays all that much. Sunday, we lost to the Rangers 3-2. On Monday, it was a really, really close back-and-forth game against the Orioles until our bullpen melted in the bottom of the 8th inning, allowing 3 runs to score to kind of like break the game apart. We lost that game 8-5. Since our off day on Tuesday, we haven't lost. We have won, unless St. Louis makes one of the best comebacks in Major League Baseball history, we are in the middle of a 5-game winning streak right now. I'm just double checking. So it's 18-4. But I don't cool. We're in the midst of a 5-game winning streak. So here's how it went. We lost to the Rangers on Sunday. We lost to the Orioles on Monday. We had an off day on Tuesday. Garrett Crochet took the mound on Wednesday and put this entire organization on his back the day after signing a contract extension to stay with the Red Sox for the next 6 years. He pitched 8 shutout innings, not allowing a single earned run. We ended up winning that game 3-0, saving our bullpen for the remainder of the series. We ended up winning on Thursday 8-4. Friday, that was the ending of the Orioles series. So we won the series, lost the opener, and then won the next 2. Friday, we came back to Fenway for our home opener, and when I tell you that Fenway Park was rocking like it was 2019, it was rocking like it was 2019. And I say 2019 because if you remember the home opener for 2019, there was so much hype, so much emphasis, so much hope that that team had coming off of the World Series. I have only seen that atmosphere at Fenway Park on opening day one other time, and it was during the wild card game against the Yankees in 2021. So to see that atmosphere finally back at Fenway Park after all of this constant sucking and blowing in mid coming from this team since 2020, since trading Mookie Betts, It's really rejuvenating. It brought me so much joy, so much happiness. Seeing Fenway Park absolutely bounce up and down. I mean, I love the boys at Section 10, Jared Karapis, Tyler Milliken, the list goes on. Absolutely love that podcast. I will make the claim that because of their live show before the game, that atmosphere was ready to go from first pitch. I mean, they had a live show. They had Wally, Lou Merlone, the whole 9 yards for their live show, and it absolutely set the stage for one of the best beginnings to an a home opener at Fenway I've seen in my life. I went to the home opener in 2022. It was freezing cold, and it wasn't really good because, we didn't play well. And we started our home opener scoring 5 runs in the top of the first. And, I mean, we were locked in from first pitch. We ended up winning that game 13-9. Our team kind of, melted a little bit at the end, but I think that's because we kind of lost focus. We scored so many runs. It was a home opener. That's fine. We still won 13-9. Saturday's game got rained out, unfortunately. Why the game wasn't moved up to 1 o'clock is beyond me, but that presented us with a doubleheader today. The first game was back and forth. Really, really tight. It was we were losing. The Red Sox were losing 4-2 in the top of the ninth, or bottom of the ninth inning. Ryan Helsley, the best closer the National League has to offer since 2021, comes into the game. Reliever of the year last year, 49 saves. What does he do? Walks 3 batters. Loads the bases. Walks in Rafael Devers, who not only is hitting the piss out of the baseball, but he's also not swinging at balls out of the zone. Walks in the game-tying run, and then the game goes into extra innings, and Wilyer Abreu, the best player on the face of the planet, hits a game-winning single to win in overtime, to walk-off single in the bottom of the 10th inning. We won 5-4. One of the best back-and-forth games I've seen out of a doubleheader. Now, usually doubleheaders do not go the way of the Red Sox historically. Usually we have some Joe Schmo come up from Worcester or from Pawtucket. Obviously, Pawtucket doesn't exist anymore, but you get me. What happened was the complete opposite. Sean Newcomb got into jams, a lot of ground balls, a lot of double plays, a lot of inning-ending double plays for the Red Sox, and he got out of most of the trouble he was in. Later in the game, obviously some runs get scored, but one thing led to another, and Wilyer Abreu walked off against the Cardinals. I mean, outside of, the fact that Ryan Helsley blew a 4-2 game, not even by hits, by walks, lost all control of the strike zone, is really telling. Maybe he's just had a down game, or maybe it's just the Red Sox tenacity to come back from being down that much. Now, today's game, the second doubleheader, felt like opening day at Fenway all over again. I mean, we jumped out to a massive lead. We had a rookie Hunter Dobbins on the mound who went 5 decently strong innings. I mean, it's easy to pound the strike zone when your team gives you a 7-run lead by the 3rd inning. I mean, by the 4th inning, it was 11-1. It has been a very long time since I've remembered our offense blowing up like this so powerfully this early in baseball games. I mean, the home opener at Fenway, 6-0 by the 2nd. Now it was 11-1 by the 4th. It's just insanity. It gives me so much positive vibes, so much hope for this team. And I'm going to the game on Thursday. I'll get to that during the preview. But there's a chance that we don't lose another game for the next 2 weeks. But I'll get into that. So, as of right now, I mean, I'm doing another quick double check to see if the game has ended. Okay, so I'm podcasting right now, so it's hard for me to know exactly what happened at the ending of the game. But the final score was 18-7. Now, the Cardinals scored a bunch of like fluff BS runs in the ninth inning. They scored 4 in the ninth, but it was not even remotely close for most of that game. Let me see if I can pull up the box score. Really, or not the box score. Let me see. I probably can't. Let me see. Wrap. What happened in the bottom of that inning? Do 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 do. That's not the one I wanted. Bear with me because this is not really cooperating. I don't care about the first game. I care about the second game. Okay, well, why can't I get the box score? I don't understand. Why is it not here? Okay. Nope, okay, I got it. So, let's see. What happened in the ninth inning? Alright, who came in? Cooper Criswell got the piss kicked out of him. Okay, that explains it. I mean, he recorded a save somehow. In a game we scored 18 runs. That's because he pitched 3 innings. So Cooper Criswell went 3 innings, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, or 5 runs scored, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, no strikeouts, big shock, and 1 home run allowed to Thomas Sagi. That scored 1, 2, 3. So that's why the game looks the way it does in the ninth inning. So we basically threw out a guy to throw out a guy on the mound, and it is what it is. But that game was never once at any point close. And like Casas got into the game. Jordan Walker robbed him of a home run. Ref Snyder got into the game. I mean, everybody cut, like, Romy Gonzalez was kind of like a star in this game. I mean, when you score 18 runs, basically everybody was a star. But that's just kind of like how today went. Today went so well that I can't find a downside other than Cooper Criswell being thrown in at the end of the game. I mean, his ERA right now is pushing 9. But highlight of the week, I will count today as number 1 because when you score 18 runs in one game and that makes 23 runs in one day, that's a big deal. I mean, it was a doubleheader. Again, historically, the Red Sox do not perform well during doubleheaders, but we scored 23 runs in one day. And since we've started playing the Cardinals, we've scored basically like 40-something runs. I mean, it was like, I can't even begin to fathom. We won 13-9 during the home opener, and then we scored 5, so that's 18 plus another 18. That's 36 runs in 3 games. I mean, that reminds me of the Yankees series the Yankees series in London, where we scored like a bajillion runs between us and them combined. But again, some of the highlights of the week: opener at Fenway, that place was absolutely berserk. I absolutely love the Wally the Green Monster celebration. If you don't know what I'm talking about, take a look at it on Twitter. It's absolutely hilarious. Player hits a home run, they get a Wally head thrown on him. Looks amazing. I will say that things probably going to smell by the end of the year if we keep this much offense up. But the vibes were off the charts. The place was absolutely rocking. I have not seen Fenway Park like that very often since 2018. So the fact that there's that atmosphere again means that the page is finally turning from the Chaim Bloom era to the new young core up-and-coming Red Sox. And the league should be horrified. Because when Fenway Park is behind this team is unstoppable. It's the reason why we were 1 out away from making it to the World Series in 2021. So, a couple of players I want to highlight. I've kind of already talked about one of them. Wilyer Abreu is basically Barry effing Bonds. I really am trying my best not to swear so much because I do have faculty, I do have students who watch and listen. But Wilyer Abreu has already accumulated 1 win above replacement, and we are not even on April 10th yet. We are 2 weeks into the season, and he has accumulated a 1 WAR season. Now, his career is 5 wins above replacement. So in 2 weeks of baseball, he has already accumulated 1/5 of all of the statistical greatness that he has accumulated since he started playing professional baseball. He is batting over 500 with 3 home runs, 11, these are, let me see if I can actually refresh this to see if it's going to count today's, I don't think that, no, this isn't counting today's stats. So, he is batting over 500, 3 home runs, basically 14 hits, 9 RBIs, 1 stolen base. His OPS plus, get a load of this, is 355. That is basically the best season that Barry Bonds has ever had in his major league career, is 355. So right now, Wilyer Abreu is having a Barry Bonds-esque beginning to his season. He is slugging 1,000. His on-base plus slugging is 1621. Not even Aaron Judge had an OPS like that during his 62 home run season. His on-base percentage is almost 700. His on-base percentage is 621 right now. So the fact that he is on base all the time, constantly getting hits. Let me pull up his stats from today's game because it's absolutely astronomical. Wilyer Abreu had 2 more hits in 3 RBIs with 2 strikeouts. So he got kind of swing happy. That's totally fine. So take those 8 RBIs and add 3 more. He's up to 11 RBIs. What about his previous game? Because I know he hit, as I've mentioned, some pretty important hits during that first game. Now, he came off the bench, keep in mind, during that first game. Yeah, 1 hit, 1 RBI, and 1 walk. So he had 2 plate appearances, 1 walk, 1 hit, 1 RBI, which was the game winner. So not only is he doing all of this stuff offensively, but he's also been like the best defender in right field since the beginning of the season. He made, in today's game, the best throw from right field I have seen made at Fenway Park since I've been born. And I'm 25. That is saying something. Now, obviously, Mookie Betts had a good arm, but I don't think Mookie Betts had this good of an arm playing right field for the Boston Red Sox. The fact that Wilyer Abreu is the best offensive player in baseball, and you add the fact that he is the best defensive player in baseball, I'm making the argument that right now Wilyer Abreu is your American League MVP if this continues. Now, obviously, it's not going to continue at this rate. I don't think he's going to finish the season batting 500 because that's just simply asinine. But the fact that he's this good, this young in his career, I mean, he's not old. We got Wilyer Abreu for Christian Vasquez. And it was really strange because we were playing the Astros when the trade went down. Why can't I find his age? But he's very, very young. And it's just absolutely insane that he is this good, this young. I mean, he's 25. I'm 25. Wilyer Abreu is making an argument to be American League MVP, and I'm sitting on my ass podcasting about it. It's unbelievable because, it gets me so excited because I haven't been this excited about a right fielder since Mookie Betts. Now, obviously, I don't think that he's going to be Mookie Betts because Mookie Betts is a generational talent, But if he's even half of Mookie Betts, I mean, like I said, he's got 1 WAR in the first 2 weeks of the season. Like, that, you can't beat that. He is leading the league in every offensive statistic outside of home runs. It truly is unbelievable. Now, to get back to where I was, sorry, because I have my notes in front of me. The other highlight of the week, and this is kind of another one of those, like, all-around, I didn't expect this. Christian Campbell has basically been the second best player, on this team outside of Wilyer Abreu. If Wilyer Abreu wasn't playing this well, you could make the argument that Christian Campbell is the best offensive player on this team. And as of right now, he is the by far forefront, like, rookie of the league in the American League. He has been absolutely unbelievable. Just pulling up his Fangraphs page really quick, because I don't want to get any of this incorrect. Keep in mind, Christian Campbell is 22. Just signed a massive contract extension, which can basically translate to a 10-year deal. It's a 8-year with 2 club options, and obviously, unless he's terrible, they're going to pick up those 2 club options. So far in 8 games, he has 2 home runs. His average is a .423, a .515 on-base percentage, slugging .808. He has a .7 WAR, so a rookie has almost a 1 WAR already. He is 4th in the league and 6th in baseball in wins above replacement. He has a WRC plus of 249. Now, WRC plus is wins and runs created plus, average is 100. So he is 149% better than every other person in the league. He is the second best offensive player on this team by far. He went 1 for 2, 2 walks, which is another thing. Now this is on opening day on Friday. He went 1 for 2, 2 walks, 1 RBI, 3 runs scored. His major problem coming up through the system was he was swinging at pitches out of the zone. I don't see that anywhere in his game so far. And there's a really good reason why Craig Breslow sat him down and said, here is $60 million. I'm going to buy out the first 2 years of your free agency, and you are going to be the foundational pillar at second base for the next 10 years. And with him, I mean, he's even played some center field, played some left field. Sorry, not center field. He played 7 games at second base and 1 game at left field, and he almost made a spectacular diving catch. Now, that brings me to his next point. Defensively, he is playing a stellar second base. Now, growing up, my favorite player, I've mentioned before, is Dustin Pedroia. He played the best second base I've ever seen anyone play in my lifetime. Christian Campbell, if he continues a couple of full seasons of this defensive play at second base, I mean, his double play turns with Trevor Story are out of this world. It makes me salivate. Like, I this is going to sound so sus, but, like, when I watch him play second base, I go, like, that felt like good. Because we have had a revolving door of buns play second base, arguably since Dustin Pedroia left. Eduardo Nunez, we had Jose Peraza. I mean, like, we have had no stable person, no warm body at second base since Dustin Pedroia. And the fact that we now have our solution at second base, I couldn't be more happier as a fan and more excited that Christian Campbell is the opening day second baseman for the next 10 years. Now, fingers crossed he stays healthy. Because right now, Abreu and Christian Campbell are Abreu is leading the league in almost every statistical category. And Christian Campbell is right behind him. He's in 4th. If you look at baseball-wide, National and American League, Wilyer Abreu is still the best player in baseball. So it's like, this absolutely historical record-setting type of like opening to the season that he's having, and it's covering up the fact that Jarren Duran has started really slow, that Connor Wong has had like one RBI, and every time he's up to bat, somebody's in scoring position. It's covering up the fact that Tristan Casas can't hit anything to save his life. Like, without Wilyer Abreu making up for all of that lack of offense, the Rafael Devers story would have been so much larger than what it actually was. Now, the only low light I want to cover for this week is the fact that on Monday, our bullpen basically melted. Now, it was a close game, and then going into the 7th inning, Justin Slayton basically just like crapped himself, and we ended up losing 8-5. It was really close. It was 6-5. We had a chance, and we just couldn't hit with men in scoring position. But obviously, that trend has now disappeared. But overall, I'm not really going to cover a lot of negative stuff because there is no negative stuff to cover. Like, this team has had a phenomenal week. It really, like, it is so refreshing to be talking about the Red Sox in a positive manner, especially after the opening that we've had in the first week. That first week sucked and blew like Monica Lewinsky, and now we're talking about the Red Sox possibly winning the division and the 1 seed in the American League. So going into the division, right now the Red Sox are in second place. We are 6-4. The Yankees are 6-3, but they are ahead of us because they have one less win, so their winning percentage is a little bit higher. But the Red Sox and Yankees are both 6-3 in their last 10. We are currently undefeated at home. The Yankees cannot say the same. They are 4-2 at home. We're not using torpedo bats outside of Alex Bregman, and he got away from that. The Yankees can't say the same, so it's kind of refreshing that we can hit Major League pitching without modifying our bats, and most of the Yankees lineup can't. Now, the Yankees have been kind of unstoppable since opening day. They absolutely crop dusted the Milwaukee Brewers, whose pitching staff sucks. So that really, it kind of says more about the Brewers and less about the Yankees. And when the Yankees played actual Major League pitchers in Arizona, they lost the series. So they lost 2 against Arizona, and then they got walked off by the dumpster fire, that is the Pittsburgh Pirates. So I would make the argument that the Yankees are a little bit fraudulent, but that's kind of my Red Sox bias popping through a little bit. Is my David Ortiz thing upside down? It was. That's embarrassing. Anyway, the Blue Jays have been basically playing .500 baseball since the beginning of the season. They are 5-5 in their last 10. They have not won outside of Toronto, and they just got swept by the Mets. Now, the Mets pitching staff has been phenomenal, but offensively, they have Juan Soto, Pete Alonso, and that's it. Now, Pete Alonso has been great. Juan Soto's been kind of eh. The rest of the team's been eh. It's really just been the story of their dominant starting pitching. The Rays have been terrible since the beginning of the season. They're 4-5. They have not won outside of Tropicana Field. Not really Tropicana Field anymore because they don't play there anymore because that stadium got hit by a hurricane. And then the Orioles are in last place. And their pitching staff reeks. Like absolute, like, think of going to Taco Bell at 3 a.m, coming home and blowing up the toilet. Repeat that process like 4 times. That's the Orioles pitching staff. That's how much their starters suck and blow. Now, they have one of the best 7, 8, 9 bullpens in baseball, but if you aren't scoring runs and your pitching staff doesn't hold it together in order for you to have a lead going into the 7th inning, it doesn't matter. And Charlie Morton basically looks like he doesn't belong in the league anymore. So I can't really be more optimistic about the Red Sox chances to not only win the division, but almost like win the division by a landslide. Now, obviously, it's going to be Red Sox-Yankees the entire season, but I grew up on Red Sox-Yankees rivalry from 2000 to arguably the Mookie Betts trade. The Yankees haven't won since 2009. We've won 13, 18, and hopefully this year. So, we won in 04, 07, 13, 18. You've won in 09. Big deal. You have Aaron Judge and nobody else. Like, I'm worried about the Yankees because they're always going to be there because of Aaron Judge. But I'm not worried about the Yankees at the same time because they don't have a complete starting rotation because basically their entire starting rotation is hurt. Giancarlo Stanton needs a double elbow surgery, probably needs Tommy John. There's a chance it ends his career. Luis Gil might not start until May. Garrett Cole is done for the year, so it's like you had foundational pillars at the beginning of the offseason. Juan Soto left to go across town to the Mets, and the entire team crumbled under your feet. So, we'll see how the rest of the season plays off. What I'm really looking forward to is that first Yankees game. I will be watching every second of it. I might even live stream it. I don't know yet. But I genuinely think that this is our year to not only dominate the division, but dominate the entire American League. And I'll get into my final thoughts later about the entire American League. Now, how are things going down in Worcester? A lot of that positivity from the Red Sox is now being felt down in Worcester also. They are off to a very good start, and I'm only going to target three players, really, because one of them pitched in the majors today. Roman Anthony. There's going to be a conversation with Roman Anthony in where he fits on this team going forward because he has been off to a good start. Now, he has cooled down since kind of like the third game of the season. He's got 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, but he's batting like 200. So it doesn't look great on the stat sheet, but when he hits the balls, they get hit really hard. And the one thing that Craig Breslow loves is hard contact. Pause. Now, the reason why there's going to be a tough conversation with Roman Anthony is because our outfield is very, very crowded. Now, you are not moving Jared Duran, and you are not moving Willie Abreu. So that leaves Rob Refsnyder and Ceddanne Rafaela. Now, what sets Ceddanne Rafaela apart from Rob Refsnyder is the fact that Ceddanne Rafaela can also play second base and he can play shortstop. Rob Refsnyder absolutely mashes lefties, which is something that this team struggles with. So, it's almost a good thing that Roman Anthony isn't like batting 500 with 5 or 6 home runs and clearly should be called up to the majors because I don't know where he fits. My solution, send I can't even say send Roman. Like, it's so difficult because you're going to have to send somebody down to AAA and you're going to have a very, very crowded bench. Now, my solution, it's going to cost you a pitcher. Cooper Criswell, send him down to Worcester. Call it Roman Anthony. Let him start on the bench. Give him spot starts here and there. Let him get his feet wet. Or save him for an injury and let that be the thing that propels him into starting every day. Now, if Ceddanne Rafaela continues to not hit Major League pitching, it might make things a little bit easier. But the problem with moving Ceddanne Rafaela out of center field is you are losing the best defensive center fielder in Major League Baseball. With Jaron Duran, Ceddanne Rafaela, and Willie Abreu, we have the best defensive outfield across any team in Major League Baseball, including the Dodgers, whose outfield is kind of weak. So, I don't want to ruin that, but he doesn't, like, this would be an entirely different conversation if Roman Anthony knew how to play first base, because right now we don't have first base depth. Now, if I was Craig Breslow, I would start giving Roman Anthony reps at first base tomorrow. Getting him as good at first base as you can for an outfielder, because even though that's not his position, that would be the thing that helps the team the most, because right now Abraham Toro or Romy Gonzalez are the only other options at first base. Now, Romy Gonzalez has been awesome to start the season, but if we could have Tristan Casas and Roman Anthony back and forth on first base, I mean, you can't beat that. But I'm kind of talking out of my ass right now because Roman Anthony has never taken a single ground ball at first base. So that's what I would do, but then again, I'm not the general manager of this team. I'm not the president of baseball ops. But maybe somebody out there is listening to me and agrees that the best way that Roman Anthony could get to this team this year is either an injury or learn how to play first base. Marcelo Meyer is the other person who I want to highlight. He has been phenomenal to start the year. He's almost batting .300. He's got 3 home runs, 5 RBIs. His control of the strike zone, not swinging at balls out of the zone, making a ton of contact. Overall, right now, the big three are showing exactly why they are the big three, why they belong together as the core foundation for this team for the next 10 to 15 years. The last person I want to highlight pitched today during the second part of the doubleheader. Hunter Dobbins made his major league career, got his first major league strikeout in the second inning. It looked a little bit shaky at the beginning, but that honestly is just because it was his major league career. He went 5 innings, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. His major league ERA is 3.6. So for somebody to get the call 24 hours ago that you're going to be starting tomorrow night, absolutely blown away. And his curveball looked absolutely filthy. So if you face his curveball, good freaking luck. Now we got 2 more segments before my final thoughts. Right now we're sitting at 41 minutes, so it's not a clean 40, but that's fine. I mean, the vibes are so high, I could sit here and talk about this team for the next 3 days. I was able to find something really cool about a specific thing that happened on April 6th in Red Sox history, and it is this. On April 6th of 1973, the very, very first game in Red Sox history was played with a designated hitter. That designated hitter was Orlando Cepeda. He went 0 for 6 against the Yankees, whose designated hitter was Ron Blomberg. And he became the first designated hitter for the Red Sox in Red Sox history. The Red Sox would end up winning that game 15-6. So maybe there's just something about April 6th that just allow us to score all of these insane amount of runs. But that's just the cool, history blurb that I was able to locate. Now, where does that lead us going forward? Well, we have a baseball game every day this week, which means it is going to be a very long week for me, but that's okay. We have a 4-game set against the Toronto Blue Jays, and then, if I'm not mistaken, it is a 4-game set against the Chicago White Sox, who just set a record last season for the worst statistical season in Major League Baseball history when it comes to wins and losses. So, just a second, because I just want to confirm. It is a 4-game series, so... Wait, no. No, I am mistaken. It is a 3-game series. So this is where the next week is. We got 4 at home against Toronto. Then we immediately jump on a plane or a bus the night of the 10th, head to Chicago, and then we play a 3-game series against Chicago in Chicago. And then we immediately play a 3-game series against Tampa Bay. Now, Tampa Bay is using the New York Yankees spring training facility, so we are doing a lot of driving in a very short amount of time. But we do not have a day off until the 17th. So, we have a 4-game series against Toronto. I will be at the game on the 10th. I will be at the series finale. I'm hoping for a sweep, but I will get into my predictions in just a second. So right now, the probables, or the probable pitchers, are posted. I know who is going tomorrow. I know who is going on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I know who will be starting when I am there. Tomorrow's game against Toronto is at 6:45. Richard Fitz is going against... Who the hell is that? Just a second. Okay, so this is how bad Toronto is right now. Easton Lucas is their starting pitcher for tomorrow's game. I don't even know who the hell that is. He went 5 innings in his major league debut, gave up 1 hit, 2 walks, 3 Ks, no earned runs. But I don't even know who they played that day. So, the Washington Nationals. Okay, so that's why he went 5 complete innings with no earned runs, because it's the Washington Nationals. So they have... Okay. Yeah, so they have Easton Lucas going up against Richard Fitz, who did get hit around a little bit in his last game, but I think tomorrow is going to be the worst of the 4-game series. On Tuesday, we have Garrett Crochet's home debut at Fenway Park against Jose Barrios, who has been absolutely horrible since the beginning of the season. We then have Tanner Houck going on Wednesday. So far, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday's games are all at 6:45, first pitch. I will say Tanner Houck has been putrid to... Oh no, what just happened? Tanner Houck has been putrid to start the season, so that's probably going to be the game, if any game, that we lose, although Gosman has not been any better. And then we have Walker Buehler going up against Bassett on Thursday to end the series. My prediction is we're going to win the series 3-1. If there's going to be a game that we lose, it's going to be the Tanner Houck game. I do think we come away tomorrow with a victory. I think Garrett Crochet potentially throws a complete game on Tuesday. It's all going to depend on how many runs we score. If the game's close, they're going to keep him in. If we score 10 runs, obviously it makes no sense to keep him in the game. But we have Fitz, Crochet, Houck, Buehler, Newcomb, Dobbins, but I think Dobbins is going to get sent down, and the rotation's going to go back from being a 6-man to a 5-man. So Fitz is probably... So right now, Sean Newcomb is going to start on Friday against the White Sox. Richard Fitz is going to start on Saturday against the White Sox. And then on Sunday, Garrett Crochet is probably going to make his return to the White Sox with what I expect to be a standing ovation. So the way I see this week playing out is we probably lose 1 game. I have us going 6-1, and that puts us at... What was our record? So if we go 6-1, that puts us at 12-5. That would give us obviously a very comfortable lead in the division, barring the Yankees from doing something outrageous. But we have the potential, if we really treat Toronto as they deserve to be treated, as they are the mid-bottom feeders of the American League East. We have the White Sox and then the Rays right after. So if there is a time in our schedule to give ourselves a comfortable lead, it starts tomorrow. It starts with putting our foots to the necks of the Toronto Blue Jays, absolutely running up the score and shitting on them as they deserve to be shitted on. Excuse my language. So let me just open my final thoughts. So, I've been talking for about an hour. I'm trying to keep these short and sweet. overall, final thoughts, the Red Sox are red hot. We're on a 5-game winning streak. If we treat Toronto, as I said, the way they deserve to be treated, we could put a really big gap between us and the Yankees. And honestly, that's the best thing that the Red Sox could do, because you don't know when injuries are going to pop up. Now, you also don't know when the Yankees are going to get healthy, as they can only get so healthy with Garrett Cole being out for the season. Outside of Monday, our bullpen, from our long arm to our 6 to our 7 to our 8 to Aroldis Chapman looking like the old Cincinnati Reds Aroldis Chapman, I mean, we have been absolutely insane from start to finish pitching-wise. If our pitching continues to dominate like this outside of Tanner Houck, you can make the argument that we have the best all-around pitching staff in baseball. Now, obviously, the Mariners have the best rotation in baseball, and the Dodgers have the best bullpen in baseball with starting. Not counting the Dodgers, you can make the argument that in the American League, there's nobody that can stop us. Offensively, defensively, pitching-wise. I mean, we have the best bullpen in baseball right now, and we have one of the best rotations. So you put those together, and you have the best pitching staff in Major League Baseball. I'm not even going to get to the injury news, because Lucas Giolito, Brian Bayer are coming back from injuries. They're making their rehab starts Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. I'm kind of worried about Liam Hendricks, as he's coming back from being on the IL to start the season, and his velocity is going down. But I don't see him pushing for a closing role anymore. I genuinely think that Aroldis Chapman earned the closing spot. Now, Cora is using Chapman in more than just the closing role. He shut down the 9th against the Cardinals. So it's like, anytime we're in a close game, whether we're tied or we're winning, Aroldis Chapman's getting the ball. If we continue this dominance, the division's ours, and it's not even going to be close. We are talking about a runaway division victory by August. The one thing I hope, because I know the Red Sox had a really hot start to last season, maintain it. That's all I ask. I don't want to have a conversation after the All-Star break why we're pushing 500. Maintain this pace for the remainder of the season. I'm begging you. Because what I want, if the Yankees make the postseason, I want that shit going through Fenway Park. I want a 7-game series in the ALDS. Or, hell, even in the ALCS. It's been a long time since we faced the Yankees in the ALCS. Fenway Park is the best place to have that advantage. So, I hope that you've enjoyed listening. I hope that you've enjoyed watching the games. Please tune in to all of the games this week, as there is a game every day. Thankfully, there aren't any late games. Again, 6:45, 6:45, 6:45, 4:10, 7:40, 4:10, and 2:10. So Friday's game is the latest game of the week, and it's at 7:40 p.m. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you to all of my supporters, all of my fans, all of the people who support me throughout this journey in doing Red Sox podcasts throughout the beginning of the season. Thank God the Red Sox have given me enough positive stuff to talk about, because I hate sitting here talking negatively about the team that I love. So I hope that you all have a great rest of your week, and we will see you all on Sunday.